Shush! It's time for The Shelf. Whangarei District Libraries Radio on Beagle Radio.
Tēnā koutou katoa, no mai whakaronga mai ki The Shelf, e punua pauaho mai I ngā whare puka puka I Whangarei I Beagle Radio 88.1 FM. I pāhure koutou I ngā hōtaka me ohotu ki ngā whare puka puka I YouTube.
Hello everyone and welcome to a very special Halloween episode of The Shelf. This is a podcast for Whangarei District Libraries on Beagle Radio 88.1 FM and we're streaming online at beagleradio.co.nz. To catch up on episodes that you might have missed, subscribe to Whangarei District Libraries YouTube channel. And kia ora koutou everyone, my name is Karlie and I'm joined here by...
It's me, Andy.
And we've got a really cool Halloween special lined up for you. I'll throw it to Andy because he's got a little strange fact for you.
Oh yes, did you know that this is our 51st episode, and did you know that 51 is not a prime number? Oh, cue the theremin. When is it playing? All right, that's good enough for me. So I just want to give us all an update. Halloween is actually about 9 days away, but because of the schedule of the show, the special is today, a whole week before. So I want to just read the Halloween news. I just pulled these stories up from the Newswire. I have a very reliable Newswire where I read the news. Because of my advanced reporting. So I have been hearing reports that the mayor of Whangarei has a portrait on the wall of his office, and it keeps him looking eternally youthful.
Ooh.
And there's nothing wrong with that. We all want to look good as we age, even if it's through supernatural means.
Yes.
Another is... don't be alarmed. I was at the No Kings rally, and after it ended, I got taken aboard a flying saucer. But, you know, I'm okay. I had a nice time. I was very surprised. Katy Perry paid an arm and a leg to go to space, and I went for free. I got a tour of the galaxy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm happy, and in time to come back, still make it to work. This last story here, our news story, is a bit more somber. I got a voice message from our colleague on the shelf, Glenn, our library manager, and he sent it at about 3 a.m. He seems to be a night owl for no reason. Is that the...
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to play this voice message. I have to warn you, it is distressing.
First unheard message sent yesterday at 7:15 p.m. End of message. To delete this message, press 7. Message deleted.
Well, that's it.
Oh, okay.
So, he's a vampire, I think.
You think? Maybe, yeah. Yeah, he was looking a bit pale at work today.
But look at it this way. What's wrong with being a night owl?
No, yeah, good point.
You can burn the midnight oil and none during the day.
Awesome.
So maybe that story's not so bad when you think about it like that. We got to stay on the positive side. It is almost Halloween after all.
Thank you for that update.
And I think now is a good time to decide. I just declared that is the news, but it is very obviously satire.
Yes. We're going to have a lot of satire in this episode, so Yeah, it's all in the spirit of Halloween, aka having a bit of fun.
Yeah. And I just want to recap last year's Halloween episode. I did this pretty well-researched segment about the history of Halloween. My reason for doing this segment was I feel that I was getting very tired of hearing dismissive claims that Halloween is an American holiday. That is not true. Other cultures celebrate it, and its origins are actually very interesting. But the what's funny is the people who seem to say Halloween's an American holiday, they seem to be, well, I hear it from Kiwis who have very English last names. Guess what? Halloween comes from the British Isles.
That's true. You did a whole segment on this last year about the origins and like Celtic history, was it?
That's right. And I'll say the spelling of the holiday that it comes from is a bit confusing. So Halloween comes from an ancient Celtic celebration called Samhain, but that is spelled Samhain. I don't know my Gaelic phonetics, just accept that for now. Samhain was a Celtic New Year's celebration and harvest holiday. So it was a time when crops were harvested and important decisions were made by tribal leaders. And so think of it like the end of the calendar year and the end of the fiscal year, too. And we work in an office, Karlie and I, so we know the end of the fiscal year is busy.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And this was also a time when you made offerings to your ancestors. During this time, end of October, beginning of November, what we now call those months, people believed that the gates to the other world were opened. So I have other world capitalized because it was in literally all of my books. And that meant that the spirits of the dead walked amongst the living. The way this is framed is that it's not necessarily bad. These are your ancestors. Don't you want to see them again? They are your loved ones.
Yeah.
But there were also very tricky spirits who'd come to our world too. Some might later call them fairies or the fae people, but they're not so nice, actually. So the gates to the other world opened, spirits of the dead walked amongst us, and that is my very brief explanation about the origins of Halloween. Now, I have a book here of spellcraft. Karlie and I are going to walk you through a little bit of witchcraft.
Ooh.
I only say witchcraft because it's familiar. That's actually misleading. I think this is something that pretty much all cultures worldwide do. You honor your ancestors.
Yes.
That's it. And I'm going to be very honest that the spell involves a cauldron and candles, and it's very impractical for us to do that in the studio. So I'm just going to walk you through it and tell you that's what's normally done. We aren't actually doing this spell here. All right? I'll blow the dust off of this. I heard a little hiss as I opened the book.
Ooh.
Not really. This is a book I found in the library. Let me back up and say this is in the call number 299, where there's a lot of information about, other religions in the world.
And that's actually kind of a very popular section of the library.
Yeah.
I've noticed.
I
Yep.
found this in the returns
cool.
bin. I did not go looking for it.
Yeah.
So the book is called Celtic Lore and Spellcraft of the Dark Goddess, Invoking the Morrigan. So just accept the Morrigan is a goddess. So it says here, Samhain marks the end of summer and the beginning of the dark half of the year. It is a time to honor the dead. On Samhain, the veil between the worlds is the thinnest, allowing for communication with the ancestors and those who have passed on. So that's pretty much what I just told you. Okay, let's begin. So what we do is we place a cauldron in the center of an altar with red, white, and black candles surrounding it. 3 candles representing the Morrigan should be placed close together around the top half of the cauldron. Place the white candle on the side. So we light some incense. This is why we can't actually do it. No smoking in this room. So you use a sword or a wand, and you say, "In the Morrigan's name, I cast this circle, a boundary between the worlds, where creation and destruction, life and death are one." So now we return to the altar, and we circle the chalice 3 times with our sword.
Yep.
Blessed is the water of the Morrigan, wellspring of life. From her waters I came, and shall one day return. I like that part. Now you put a dish of salt on the altar and circle it with your sword. There's a lot of that, symbolically. Blessed is the salt of the earth, the body of the Morrigan, from which all life grows and is sustained. From her I came forth, and from her I shall one day return. Put 3 pinches of salt in the water, stir it 3 times. Now you perform a self-blessing. You anoint yourself. If you've been to church, it's kind of the same idea. And now you turn the page. So now we say these words here. Pardon my pronunciation if you speak this language. Anu Makdabav, the 3 in 1, Anu Makabav. I call thee Morrigan, come. Now we light a white candle. Anu, wisdom of the deep and the fertile earth, I call thee Morrigan, come. Light the red candle. Maka, mare mother, warrior queen, sword ready for battle, I call thee Morrigan, come. Now you light the black candle. Bavd, cauldron mother, life and death are in your keeping, I call thee Morrigan, come. Just a moment here. Cuchulain's bane, Dagda's wife, 9 braids in your hair, I call thee Morrigan, come. Fairy queen, prophecy, your natural tongue, I call thee Morrigan, come. Lady of Avalon, mistress of faith, I call thee Morrigan, come. Shapeshifter goddess, battle crone, I call thee Morrigan, come. Anu Makabav, I call thee Morrigan, come. Anu Makabav, I call thee Morrigan, come. Anu Makabav, I call thee Morrigan, come. If you've read any Celtic myth or Arthurian myth, you've heard many of these themes before. Avalon, shapeshifters, a lot of that. So you take a moment now to just feel the presence of this goddess, and you listen to the wisdom she might offer you. Remember, if you're concerned about spells or witchcraft, this goddess is actually good. So she has wisdom. Just listen. So now we light the green candle. Dagda, good God, all-Father, bearer of the cauldron of plenty, your club both destroys and restores life. Your harp moves the season. Each in turn, you bless and sustain your people. Father God, hail and welcome. Now you take a moment to feel the Dagda's presence. I don't have time to explain who he is. It's a lot to say there.
We'll Google it.
So yeah, you listen to his wisdom too now. Now finally, you light the white candle that you have placed inside the cauldron. So this is a somber moment. This candle represents your ancestors and friends and family who have passed beyond the veil. So you can say, I light this candle in honor of whomever. Now you say the names of your loved ones, or you can say, in honor of my ancestors. So lots of cultures around the world have an honorable thing they would say to their ancestors at some time of the year. I remember in Korea, I think around this time, that's when you look to your ancestors for wisdom, from what I remember. So once you've done this, you will feel the presence of your loved ones who have passed. And be aware of their energies, it says here, but don't be afraid. This is a very profound moment, it says, especially if there's unresolved business. And you can also say goodbye if you didn't get a chance. Take all the time you need, but we don't have much time. So the next part's about divination, which I don't believe in that. Next, we take a sip of wine and pour some into the libation bowl. Karlie and I are not going to drink wine in the studio, sorry. And now you thank the Morrigan and Dagda and extinguish the candles. And that's it. This book is in 299 in that part of the library. I just found it randomly because I work at a library. That's how you find things.
Wow, that was my first lot of witchcraft, I think.
Yeah, witchcraft is only it's an oversimplification. To them, it was a religion.
Yeah.
And it's honoring ancestors in a way that so many cultures do.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I think that, and it's really important to do that, to honour the people that have come before you, especially your family members. We do that in a lot of holidays. I was just thinking even Christmas, we think of our loved ones that have been gone and passed, and yeah, New Year's.
Yes, definitely. And I think this book is fascinating because it tells you a bit about this worldview that actually, if we're talking about ancestors, my ancestors believed this stuff. Long before written records, probably.
Yes. Okay, well, thank you, Andy. That was very illuminating. Pun intended. Okay, what have we got coming up next? I think we've got another special treat for our listeners. Yes,
our colleague Eddie has written a story that he read and recorded. So he did so much work just to put this together.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was sure after I got the file to give it to him for, to add to his collection.
Yeah, he's a very talented writer, and we're lucky to have him as co-host on the show. He also does some fun times for the kids. He's so popular, so talented at music and at writing. So this is bound to be... I'm hearing this for the first time, so I'm very excited. It's bound to be good.
So this is Lost on the River by Eddie Williams.
Lost on the River. Halloween, 1964. Hank Williams is long dead. The grieving fans who have made pilgrimage to his grave over the last dozen years know it. The generations of corpse fauna that have feasted on his tortured, twisted frame prove it. Yet death and decay won't keep old Hank from crashing my birthday party in the small slatboard shack near the Whangarei harbour. Hank's discarnate mind, dormant with grief, doesn't register that his essence languishes, lost on the river that flows between worlds. As I struggle to escape the amniotic sea that engulfs me, a freak current captures Hank and hauls him towards our world. He washes up on a hard, dusty surface, hellishly humid air, a relentless pounding in his ears. This ain't nothing but a dream, he thinks. I'm asleep in the back seat of my Cadillac while young Chuck drives me to Carlton, Ohio. Raising himself on all fours, Hank is floored by a tsunami of pain springing from the fault line of his spine. As the wave subsides, he curses the miles of rugged road that took their toll on his back. By Knoxville, his agony was such that Chuck bundled him into an emergency quack's clinic. Guess I shouldn't have washed the duck's opioids down with beer and bourbon. Something wet and warm slithers across his face. He shudders and opens his eyes to a long pink tongue lolling over yellowed fangs. Scrambling back, he sees an old sheepdog. "Hey there, girl. You friendly?" Another lick to his face. Hank fondles a velveteen ear, setting the hound to frantically pawing at the air. "Time to treat your mutt for fleas," a gruff voice says. Hank looks up to see a hard-faced, middle-aged man in an easy chair. "I only did here last week," a youthful voice replies over Hank's shoulder. He releases the dog's ear and turns to see a heavily pregnant teenager propped up on a couch, sipping tea. "See, Dad? She's stopped now." The pair look straight through Hank. "Guess this is one of them dreams where all Hank's on the outside looking in." The throbbing sound emanates from a rickety record player. An adolescent stammers his love for a girl named Peggy Sue over music at once ridiculous and infectious. Hank starts tapping out the rhythm on the wooden floor. "Do you hear that, Dad? Reckon it's Jay?" "More like possums dancing on the deck." "At least someone's enjoying Halloween, Fred." "Fred now, is it? If I'd called my old man by his first name..." "These folks sure talk strange," Hank thinks as the record finishes. Fred selects a new record. The Hank Williams Memorial Album. Now that's music. Memorial Album? Them money-grabbing dogs at MGM must have cobbled it together when I had that damn heart attack back in Florida. Fred props the cover on the mantelpiece and places the disc on the turntable. Hank grabs at the sleeve, flicks to the back and reads, "The late Hank Williams." It slips from his grasp and falls to the floor as he reels in disbelief. "Wind's getting up, Dad. Old Hank's just taken a tumble." Fred shuts the window and picks up the cover as Your Cheating Heart begins to play. "You sending me a message, Lord? Quit popping pills and guzzling booze and cheating on Audrey, or I'll wind up the late Hank Williams." A thunderclap shakes the shack. My mother and I both flinch. She spills tea over her protruding belly. The dog rushes over, rests her head on Mum's lap and whines. "You all right, Cass?" Fred asks. "Yeah, I've spilt more than my tea, but my waters have broken." "Nah, you're a couple of weeks off yet." Baby has other plans. "Righto, I'll phone for an ambulance," Fred says, trotting from the room. "Dad," Cass's murmur doesn't reach him. Don't make me go to the hospital." She curls into a ball, arms wrapped around me and her torso. "Hell!" Fred strides back into the room. "Bloody phone's down." Cass unfurls herself. "Right, plan B, fetch the midwife." "I'm not having that woman in my house." "And I'm not giving birth with my old man as doctor and my dog as nurse." "All right, I'll get her, but only out of sheer bloody necessity." "You be okay while I nip next door?" "Just go and take Flo with you." Hank follows dog and master out to a potholed driveway and gazes upon an upside-down sky, Orion's belt looking more like a coonskin cap. Fred veers towards another shack where dim light seeps through ragged curtains. Mounting the step, he gives a knock to wake the dead. The door creaks open. A face peers through the gap, eyes looking warily at Fred. Focusing on Hank, they bulge. "Holy crap!" The door slams shut. An ominous rhythm comes from the other side. Tock, stump, drag. Tock, stump, drag. The door flies open and Fred and Hank are staring down the twin barrels of a shotgun. "Bloody hell, Nora, put that thing away." "So it's just you," the wiry old woman juggling walking stick and weapon replies. "Expecting the drug squad?" "Bugger off. Trev said it was that mean old bastard from next door with some spooky-looking bumpkin in tow." Hank, in his best all-white nudie suit and Stetson, takes in Nora's shapeless brown frock, bare feet and rat's nest hair. Well, talk about the yokel calling the heck rustic. Not just the old bastard and his dog, Fred drawls. Your young fellow been smoking electric poo-ha again. What do you want, Fred? It's Cass. The baby's on its way. Why didn't you say so? Nora snaps, abandoning the gun and limping onto the porch. Trev, grab my birthing bag at Swanee. We're off to see Cass. A lanky youth creeps forward, eyeballing Hank. Am I coming too? He asks, handing over the items. No, Fred and Nora declare. Hank doffs his hat in farewell to Trevor, who squeals like a stuck pig and slams the door again. So he's highly strung, Nora says. Doesn't mean he's high. If I had my way, Fred growls, he'd be strung up high. And why aren't you driving Cass to the hospital, you miserly old rooster? Because, you meddling old poo-kecko, her useless bloke is off gallivanting in my car. Besides, Cassie's not keen on hospitals. That nasty ruptured appendix a few years back? Yeah, best not mention it, eh? Course not. Poor lamb. Speaking of lambs, says Fred, I've had plenty of experience with birthing mothers. I'm more than capable with the mechanics of it all. How's teeth, Fred? This is your daughter we're talking about, not some fly-struck ewe about to squirt out its litter. That's what I'm saying. Cass wants a woman just now. Suppose we'll have to make do with you. Back at the house, Hank wonders what use he is in this dream. As the birthing party slip off boots and coats, he glides past into the sitting room. His memorial album plays quietly. Locating the volume knob, he cranks it up. Move it on over, blast out of the speakers. Fred pushes open the door, strides to the stereo and turns it down. Hank flicks it up. Foreign rubbish, Fred grumbles, dropping the volume. He stands there, mouth agape, as the knob, seemingly of its own accord, spins to ear-pulverising mode. Nora enters, wrenches the plug from the wall and spits, "Blokes in their bloody record players! Stop mucking around and take me to Cassie!" Hank re-engages prongs to socket. Sparks dance about his hand. Darkness. Silence. "Dad," Cassie calls. "On our way, love. Just a power cut." It is approaching midnight when Mum's final push sends me into Nora's gnarled hands. I am blue. Nora ties and snips the umbilical cord, then dangles me upside down and spanks my ass. Nothing. My mother stares at her lifeless child. "Fred!" Nora screams. He bursts into the room, Hank Williams hot on his heels. "He's not breathing!" Fred clutches my heels and spins me around, faster and wider with each circuit. Hank tries to sidestep the arc of my swinging body, but I slice through him like a scalpel. Ectoplasmic gore gushes from the exit wound, purging Hank of years of chronic, crippling pain in one glorious moment, and instilling deep within my soul the gift of song. The overhead light flashes on. An unearthly chant penetrates the air. My body convulses. I cough. Mum stirs from her stupor. "Hello, you." My grandfather places me in my mother's arms as I cry for my first feed. Averting his eyes, he says, "Righto, I'll leave the three of you to it." "Good," says Nora. "Make yourself useful and find out what's making that unholy racket, will you?" The chanting is coming from the record player. The needle is leaping back and forth in the same groove as the disc spins counterclockwise. Fred shudders and lifts off the arm. "Hell, sorry about that, Hank." Bloody storms buggered the motor. Outside, the clouds part and the old sheepdog Flo sits on the back step, howling at the moon.
You are listening to Beagle Radio 88.1 FM Whangarei and online at www.beagleradio.co.nz. If you want to get in contact with the station manager, please email info@beagleradio.co.nz. Over to you, Karlie.
Okay, thank you, Andy. And thank you, Eddie, for that amazing story. I'm going to listen to it a few more times because it took me a while to realize who the narrator was in that twist. So that was so cool.
Yeah, thank you, Eddie.
So talented. Okay, so next up I'm going to talk about Paranormal Northland.
Yeah.
AKA Northland Paranormal, if we're going to be on trend like Wellington Paranormal and all that. Okay, so first off, I was wondering why as a society we are drawn to ghost stories. Ghost stories have been around for centuries. As long as we've been around, they've been around. And so the idea of a ghostly afterlife was originally, and I guess still to this day, influenced by religion and folklore, just like Andy was talking about Halloween's origins. It's the same for ghost stories. It's a way of dealing with the unknown and of death or grief. Some psychologists believe that ghost stories are a means of reassuring ourselves over our own mortality, a way of comforting ourselves. When ghost stories transcend into horror stories, there is also the feeling of getting an adrenaline rush. They can give you a sense of detachment as well from the over the top storyline, which is a form of escapism. So that's what I learned about why we're drawn to ghost stories. But as a skeptic myself, but someone who I really love these tales. I love reading ghost stories, spooky stories. I love watching horror movies. I wanted to find out about paranormal locations in Northland. I was wondering if we had any famous spots.
Yeah, what have we got?
Wow, let's see. And I'll just preface this by places themselves are known to be paranormal through the stories that we tell about them. And I was researching this in a totally respectful way that was born out of a genuine curiosity and the spirit of the Halloween season. So firstly, in Whangarei, we have the Dickens Inn, which I didn't realise is supposedly haunted.
Okay, I've been there.
Yeah, this is a bar located on Cameron Street, not far from the Central Library, actually, just a couple of blocks away. And their official websites state the following: the Dickens Inn ghost. But don't worry, he's friendly. The porter at the old Whangarei Hotel used to talk of seeing a ghost, and over the years, staff and patrons alike have reported experiencing a presence they couldn't quite explain. In fact, we have retained one historical timepiece which, when removed for servicing works perfectly, but upon replacement inside the Dickens Inn, it will stop at exactly the same time and refuse to budge. Coincidence? You decide. So there's that. And then I went on a deep dive into this. I stumbled across this story. So, the Mere Park Ghost.
Okay.
In 2008, the New Zealand Herald published the story titled Ghost Busted. After 47 years, a spooky secret is out. This story started in 1961 when it was whispered around town that young couples courting in the park were scared out of their wits by wailing, by strange lights, and by an illuminated figure. Such ghost sightings were regular over the course of 3 months until the hauntings just mysteriously stopped one day. But the rumour about the ghost remained for literally decades. So many years later, in 2008, a Whangarei youth pastor named Simon Drake made a public plea in the Northern Advocate for answers, because this had pestered his parents' generation for decades. And so he got those answers. Turns out the ghost was actually a 16-year-old prankster, still alive, named Kevin Davies. His brother said to the Herald, I quote, "He was having a hell of a lot of fun. He'd ride his bike to where the playground is now, usually at dusk, sometimes later, It was a well-known courting place, and when he'd see a couple go down the track, he'd scoot ahead of them, make ghost noises, and shine a light on them. I used to see him come back home on his bike with a big smirk on his face. I have to say, that is legendary behavior. That is, yeah, gold. Okay. Finally, but most importantly, another paranormal location, we have Pewhane. Would you pronounce it like that?
What is it? Pewhane.
Pewhane, otherwise known as Spirits Bay, which is a sacred site in Māori culture. Those are the names of the bay, but the eastern end of the bay is called Kapawairoa, which means to grasp at the spirit. It's situated at the very top of the North Island and is said to be a place where the spirits of the dead depart from this world to travel to the afterlife. They gather at the site of a very, very old Pahutakawa tree that's located above the bay before journeying to meet their ancestors. Some say they have visited the site at night and have seen spirits travelling towards the beach, focused forward on their destination and ignoring all other people on the beach. This is a beautiful concept to me and different from the so-called ghost stories that are often told to spook people at Halloween. So that was awesome to learn about a bit more.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, there you have it. And so, side note, if any of you listeners have any more ghost stories, I'm sure me and Andy would love to hear them.
Yeah.
And if you know of any other ghost stories in Whangarei or Northland specifically, I'd love to hear them, and maybe we'll talk about them on next year's Halloween special.
Great idea, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, email us.
Yeah, because we're not as haunted as I was hoping or expecting.
And I don't scare easily, so let's just consider that a challenge. Whoops. Wrong one.
There's a gremlin in our computer.
Yeah, I was trying to play a spooky noise, and I played the radio instead. Who cares? Let's not cut that part.
Yeah,
Let's just leave it. Yeah.
I love it. Cool.
Let's talk about horror books and movies that you can find in the library. Not only can you find books of magic spells, but there are books that will scare you, and there are movies too.
Yeah.
So I went through a list of some horror books. So we have a New Zealand author named Paul Cleave. I've not read his books, but doesn't he write horror as well?
Yeah, I believe he does. I haven't read them either. I'm actually not a very big horror reader, but I'm feeling like it might be something I am interested in trying out. Yeah.
I'm not much of a horror reader either. In fact, I think I've read as many horror books my whole life as the last time I talked about them on this show. But I'll just list a few. I have read... I've read Dracula by Bram Stoker. I read that in high school.
That's a great book, actually.
And it is, because it's all diary and journal entries. So it's like a compilation of a work of journalism almost. It's like it's been researched, or it's found footage. Well, a movie like The Blair Witch Project kind of does a similar thing. So that makes the book very unique.
It's a very good point.
For its time and even today. And then there's, I've read Pet Sematary by Stephen King. I'll just say that is a spooky book, but it is a very straightforward narrative.
Oh, okay.
Traditional kind of writing.
Also a great song by the Ramones.
Yeah. And I did not know that you could write the F word in a book, because I read it when I was like 14.
Oh.
I was surprised.
Oh, you were probably scandalized at the time.
Well, I was thought, you can't print that. Maybe, I guess you can.
That's not allowed.
I guess you can. When I was a kid, I read Goosebumps. My teachers probably thought I was demented reading a story about, a girl who puts a mask on, but she can't take it off.
Yeah.
The Haunted Mask or Night of the Living Dummy. I loved that stuff.
Yeah.
They're for kids, though. If you're an adult, you'll read it in a day, and that's fine. There are enjoyable stories. and the Fear Street novels are more for teens. This is the same author as Goosebumps, R.L. Stine. But I've written a list of some other things that I have not read. We have Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Karlie, quiz.
Yep.
What is the original title?
Mary Shelley's Frankenstein? Or, I don't know. Well, didn't they have that in the title?
I'm going to double check, but it is called Modern Prometheus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which changes kind of our image of Frankenstein. I heard too once, wisdom is knowing that Frankenstein is the doctor and
Yeah.
not the monster.
Monster is the monster.
Yeah, but I wrote down Robert Louis Stevenson on here on my list of horror novels because he wrote Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, or The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I think he wrote The Invisible Man too, or was that H.G. Wells?
Don't know.
Well, I wrote H.G. Wells down too, so I am correct.
Yeah.
He wrote War of the Worlds, which I think shows you that early sci-fi kind of blends with horror too. And H.P. Lovecraft is another author I've written. Lovecraft, I told Karlie before the show, kind of a problematic author if you read about his life. But what he wrote was pretty spooky and has had an effect on literature since then. The Call of Cthulhu is written like an academic journal entry, but it's all about these strange things happening with this monster named Cthulhu. But it's worth a read. You can read about the author if you like, just so you know.
All right, really cool. So if people were wanting to find horror books, horror fiction in the library, how would they go about searching for them?
Well, I think the best way is to do a subject search, and you click on the tab at the top of the screen. I'm just opening the
online
catalog.
yeah.
Yeah, on the online catalog. You go to one of the drop-down windows, and you choose subject, and then you type horror. After that, you can choose the medium that you prefer, book, audiobook. But I just did subject search for horror, and I got a book about horror movies. I got a book of short stories and teen fiction novel that sounds like a horror novel by its title. And, this sounds kind of cool. The Gathering Dark, an anthology of folk horror. I might have a look at that later.
Yeah, I might have to put a hold on that one.
I did a search earlier, and I found that there are a lot of horror movies that appear in this search too, and they're on Bema Film, which is the library's streaming subscription. So if you want to watch movies, you can go to Bema Film using your library card, log in, and you can watch horror movies on there. And I saw some good ones in the list. Pan's Labyrinth was listed as horror. I think it's a sad movie masquerading as a scary movie.
Yes, it is a bit of a tragedy.
It's
heartbreaking. A lot of a
heartbreaking.
tragedy.
So good, though.
It's a great movie.
And there were others, too, and those appear in the catalog.
Yeah, I was talking to a customer today, or a library patron, who was very surprised to learn that you get free movies with your library card.
Yeah.
Like, we've got DVDs in the library and Bema Film online that you access for free. So it's really cool. It's worth it to check out on our website, like the apps that we subscribe to.
Definitely. So subject search horror in our library catalog and see what you get. And speaking of movies,
Yes.
well, we've got some horror movies in our library's collection. Last year, I purchased Smile 2. If you've
it's on my list.
The first Smile is
Yeah.
it's good. The second Smile is great
Awesome.
and horrifying.
Yeah.
Then I got Heretic with who's the pretty boy actor? Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
He's done playing a pretty boy. He's quite spooky in this movie. I got Nosferatu,
Yay.
the newest one, and The Substance with Demi Moore.
Ooh, creepy.
It's very good. Kind of a funny movie too. But let's talk about New Zealand horror, because this is a unique genre. So we made a list. You wanted to talk about The Frighteners, an early
my
Peter
goodness.
Jackson movie.
Yes, The Frighteners is one of my absolute favourite movies because I watched it when I was way too young, got really scared, but it was stuck in my head and became like my favourite movie for when I was like a tweenager. So it means a lot to me. The Frighteners was directed by Peter Jackson, co-written with his wife Fran Walsh. It was made in 1996 and stars Michael J. Fox, and made in New Zealand. So you can spot New Zealand filming locations, like I think a lot of the cemeteries was filmed in Littleton. So it's really cool. So basically the premise of the movie is that Michael J. Fox discovers that he has psychic abilities, or we meet him when he's already have realized this. He can see ghosts after his wife's murder. So this is all happening post, like we meet him and he's basically taking advantage of his psychic abilities by charging people. Charging people and making sort of a business out of it. But then it becomes like he's trying to find people start dying.
Yeah.
and he's trying to find like a mass murderer who keeps posing to him like as the Grim Reaper. So it's really cool. It sounds really spooky, but it's New Zealand and it's Peter Jackson, so there's a lot of comedy to it.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a theme in New Zealand horror, is that we have humour even if it's dark humour.
Yeah.
So The Frighteners, I cannot recommend that enough. I love that movie. It's so good.
And that was a Peter Jackson movie. And, if you've seen Lord of the Rings, I think Fellowship of the Rings has a lot of horror elements. The Night Riders are those really scary guys.
They look like Grim Reapers, don't they?
Well, they do, or the Dementors in Harry Potter. They're kind of stalking Frodo to get his ring. There's another movie I saw recently called The Changeover. It's based on a Margaret Mahy book.
It's a great book.
The movie's quite dark, though. I don't want to reveal too much. I'll just say, just give it a go. Watch The Changeover.
Yeah, and The Changeover was written, I think it was written and / set in maybe the 80s, late 80s. It's a very good, it's different to the movie, but what I liked about The Changeover also is they made it into like it was set in Christchurch in like post-earthquake setting, which I think added a lot of interest to New Zealand audiences as well. Like we could relate and see, economic consequences and things like that in The Changeover. But it is a supernatural movie at heart.
Oh, very. And the actor Timothy Spall is in. He's so good.
Yeah.
And Melanie Linsky, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great movie. I wrote down What We Do in the Shadows because, come on.
Yeah, come on. We're werewolves. No, we're werewolves, not scarewolves.
Swearwolves.
Swearwolves.
Yeah. That's a classic too. Any other New Zealand horror? It's a small genre here.
There are other Peter Jackson movies like It's a Bad Taste and Brain Dead. Like he really started out in that genre. Practical effects, gore, zombies, etc.
I saw a New Zealand horror movie called Black Sheep.
Yeah.
And we don't have it at the library.
I haven't seen that for like a long time, but I remember
Murderous Sheep.
Very crack up as well.
I think we should read some poetry and wrap it up pretty soon.
Okay.
I've got a poem by Edgar Allan Poe, and it is called Ulalume. The skies, they were ashen and sober. The leaves, they were crisped and Sarah. The leaves, they were withered and Sarah. It was night in the lonesome October of the most immemorial year. It was hard by the dim lake of Auber. In the misty mid-region of Weir, in the down by the dank tarn of Auber in the ghoul-haunted woodland of Weir. Here once, through an alley titanic of Cyprus, I roamed with my soul, of Cyprus with Psyche, my soul. These were days when the heart was volcanic. As the Syriac rivers that roll, as the lavas that restlessly roll, their sulphurous currents down Yannick, in the ultimate climbs of the pole, they groan as they roll down Mount Yannick, in the realms of the boreal pole. Our talk has been serious and sober, but our thoughts, they were palsied in Syrah. Our memories were treacherous in Syrah. For we know not the month was October, and we marked not the night of the year. Ah, night of all nights in the year, we noted not the dim lake of Auber, though once we had journeyed down here. We remembered not the dank tarn of Auber, not the ghoul-haunted woodland of Weir.
Wow.
That's Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe. Okay. And I have a poem too by Louise Gluck called All Hallows. Even now this landscape is assembling. The hills darken. The oxen sleep in their blue yoke. The fields having been picked clean. The sheaves bound evenly and piled at the roadside. Among cinquefoil as the toothed moon rises. This is the barrenness of harvest or pestilence, and the wife leaning out the window with her hand extended as in payment, and the seeds, distinct, gold, calling, come here, little one, and the soul creeps out of the tree.
Ooh, very good.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us on our very special Halloween episode. Andy and I love this episode. It's our second annual special, Halloween special.
Yeah, and I just love Halloween, even though the seasons are backwards here.
Yeah, we're thinking maybe the librarian should perhaps dress up for Halloween. And we encourage our library users and visitors to come in dressed up as well. And why not trick or treat at the library, I say?
That's a great idea. Yeah, wear a costume. I know I will.
Yeah, and our treats come in the form of maybe books you borrow, which will last longer than Halloween candy. So there you go.
Yes, yeah. Well, thank you all very much. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Let's play a song. How about I Put a Spell on You?
That sounds appropriate. Ka kite.